Most ChatGPT users have gotten comfortable typing prompts back and forth, whether they're on a computer or using the app on their phone. That works well, but it also limits when you can use ChatGPT. There's been a dictation feature for a while, but I found it pretty clunky. You'd speak, wait for it to transcribe your words, hit send, wait for a response, and then repeat the whole process. It wasn't something I wanted to use while driving or whenever my hands were busy. But ChatGPT's new voice mode changes all of that. Instead of dictating prompts, you're having a conversation. You simply start voice mode, talk naturally, and ChatGPT responds in a clear, conversational voice. You can ask follow-up questions, interrupt, change directions, and brainstorm ideas just like you would with another person. That opens up entirely new ways to use ChatGPT. Whether you're driving, walking the dog, doing chores around the house, or just away from your desk, you can now turn that time into productive thinking time. For me, that's what makes ChatGPT Voice Mode a real game changer. Let's take a closer look. One of the first thoughts I had after using voice mode was, this is what voice assistants should have been. Most voice assistants are designed for quick commands. Set a timer. What's the weather? Send a text. Those are useful features, but they're also very limited. Voice mode is different because it isn't just answering isolated questions. It becomes a thinking partner. Instead of issuing commands, you're having an ongoing conversation, and that's a completely different experience. For me, the biggest benefit isn't convenience. It's that voice mode creates opportunities to think productively during parts of the day that used to be lost. Imagine you're driving to work. Instead of listening to the radio, you can brainstorm a business idea, work through a strategic decision, outline a presentation, plan a content project, prepare for an important meeting, or organize your thoughts before tackling a complex problem. The same is true while you're walking, exercising, or doing chores around the house. Those moments become productive thinking time. Now, there is one limitation that's important to understand. ChatGPT doesn't continue working after your voice mode conversation ends. Initially, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could describe a research project while I'm driving, hang up, and have ChatGPT continue working until I got home? That's not how it works, at least not yet. But I actually discovered a workflow that's almost as good. Use voice mode to think through the project, talk about your objectives, refine the scope, identify the questions you want answered, decide what a successful result should look like. By the end of that conversation, you've created a well-defined project instead of just a vague idea. Then, when you're back at your computer, simply continue the same conversation. Upload documents if necessary, and launch the deeper research or writing project. In other words, use voice mode for the thinking and your computer for the execution. One final feature I really appreciate is that the conversation doesn't disappear. Everything is saved in the same chat. So when you open ChatGPT later on with your laptop, you simply pick up where you left off. The context is already there, and you don't have to start over. For me, that's the real breakthrough. Voice mode isn't just another way to interact with ChatGPT. It expands the ways you can be productive when you're on the move. Instead of waiting until you're back at your desk to put your thinking to work, you can start the conversation wherever you are. This is particularly useful when you have a brilliant idea away from your desk that you want to explore. And by the time you sit down at your computer, it's likely you've made tremendous progress.